Whoa, looks like the Vigil still have that thing. Wait a minute, it's a little shorter than the Vigil, isn't it? Yes, that's because it's the Guardian. I found a Guardian in 45, I think. Is that a 45? Yes, those are 45 slugs. We're going to shoot it today. Yak at you a little bit. Got some magazines loaded. Don't know if I'll shoot them all, but we're going to have some fun. And, you know, at least I am. Hope you'll have a little fun too. So I'll see you in a minute directly. Hickok 45. I don't have a firearm. Yes, I do. It's hidden. Yes, all right. Life is good. I forgot to sign off with that last week, I noticed. I don't know, brain dead. I talked too long. I'll try to keep it a little shorter this week, okay? Glad you came out. Here you are, and here I am, your internet shooting companion from the beautiful hills, semi-beautiful hills of Middle Tennessee. Yep, home of all kinds of cool people. And I'll introduce you to a few of them next week, maybe. How's that? I'll remember some people you've not heard about, maybe, who are from Tennessee. So I'm glad you're here. I'm going to shoot a little bit. You saw what's on the table, just one measly firearm. And that happens to be just the Guardian, Dan Wesson. I found one. Okay, boy, hard to find. And it's mine, bought it. And we'll do a video on it, but it has everything I want in a carry 1911, what I've talked about. Okay, it's a commander size. It's which is 4 1/4 inch slide versus the 5-inch standard GI slide barrel, and it has, most importantly, alloy frame and a ramped barrel, so that the rounds are not banging on the aluminum ramp. I've had trouble with that in the past. Okay, my last go round on an aluminum frame, 1911, okay, many years ago, and I vowed I would never go that route again. And so I found a 45 with a ramped barrel. Dan Wesson makes them. Okay, it's called the Guardian. You got to go to the Guardian. Well, you don't. The Vigil does too, but I told you about the problem I have. This has a safety bump, the little memory bump that I need. I can put my hand just normally up on the safety if I want to, and I can still pull the trigger, okay? So I need that memory bump. I don't know why they call it a memory bump. I think it's because so you know your hand's in the right place. Nah, I just get my hand up as far as I can either way. I don't care whether the bump is there or not, but the top of the beaver tail is my memory item, bump, whatever you want to call it. So, but anyway, it's cool. It's cool, and I've been shooting it some and enjoying it. When you have an alloy frame, it's probably not a firearm you want to put 20,000 rounds through the first year. It's a carry gun. You know, shoot it enough to know how to shoot it, and does fine. You know, you're good to go. Some people might think that a carry gun with an alloy frame, or a 1911 with an alloy frame, is too light. You're going to recoil a lot, especially in 45, and then you got the shorter slide and everything, but it really doesn't. I don't think so. In fact, I'll show you. I'm going to shoot this one. Okay, I don't know if I ever hit the gong over there. Let me bear down. Take a deep breath. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. All right. Mr. Hogg, let's pop you. I've noticed that the slide's not staying back with a lot of magazines on the last round. So that's not an issue with that slide stop mag release. So, I mean, it's not a deal killer, but that's one thing I've discovered about it. Okay, so we'll see. And that's even the Dan Wesson magazine. It didn't hold it back. So we'll see about the Nighthawk. I think the Nighthawk mag was holding it back. Yeah, locking it back. Well, I mean, these do when you just put it in there, but anyway. That's what you have to do. Shoot the firearm when you acquire one. You might discover something that is not exactly right, and you got to work that out. And it's always good to figure that stuff out on the range yeah, ahead of time. And that's one of the advantages of competition. You know, people that shoot USPSA and all the various gun games, you know, it does not make you a warrior. I mean, there are probably some people that do that, think they're warriors because they can shoot fast and whatever, have a good score. But yeah, people with some common sense know the difference, right? And but one thing it does do though is, well, it gets you familiar with your firearm, you know, and reloading it and manipulating it, all that sort of thing, which a lot of people don't do. They buy a gun, shoot it a few times, put it in a drawer or whatever. Is don't practice, but it does give you experience with, well, things like that. You discover things about your firearm. You might be carrying a spare magazine or a magazine in the firearm that's not really that reliable, and you don't even know it. You don't even know it. All those things come out in matches, at least, you know, that. You know, plus there's a little stress involved, you know. Normally on a shooting range, there's not a lot of stress. You know, even with you all looking over my shoulder, it's not a lot of stress. It might be for some. But when you got a range officer right here on your back, and say you're thinking about this course of fire, okay, do I have enough ammo? Where am I going to reload? All these kinds of things. And there's somebody right there at your shoulder with a timer in your ear and a countdown. And if you point the wrong way or do something, you disqualify anything unsafe at all under stress. I mean, and you're trying to get the course run in the best time you can, maybe beat the other people and maybe win the match or whatever, depending on where you fall and the skill level. So there is some stress involved, okay? There's some stress. I think it's probably not as stressful as somebody shooting at you, right? You folks have been in battle, could weigh in on that. Right, but I mean, it does take you at least a level or two above just standing on the range and shooting. So, and you get to test your equipment, right? So, you know, the ammo that you're using, you might discover not as big an issue with modern firearms. Back in when I got into it with the 1911s, the early 1911s, a lot of them didn't want to feed, you know, some ammo as well. Well, they still are like that to some extent. You get some crazy lightweight ammo or a semi-wad cutter ammo and a 1911. So just some things like that I've discovered don't feed well in a lot of guns. But anyway, you discover those sorts of things in the course of shooting it. Plus you're under a little stress, and so it's good. I mean, it's not bad. You know, you'd be sitting on the couch, right, and doing nothing and thinking your gun is going to work 100%. You know, it may not. So anyway, I got off on all that, didn't I? Yeah, so here we are. I did already thank the people, yeah, as I started that help us. You know who they are, silencercentral.com. I think I forgot them last week. They're a great outfit, and we got a little toy coming from them this week I'll tell you about. You'll be seeing. Kind of interesting. So they're a great supporter, just as everybody else is that I mentioned. So we appreciate their help. And John does not have anything on his schedule that's 100% certain. So anyway, he was at Zany's the other night. That was fun. He did a pretty good job, I thought. So it's a pretty funny thing. Dusty Slay was the main attraction and the host, and he is a funny guy. Yeah, He ought to be a comedian. Right. He's a very funny guy. I enjoyed it. And so anyway, so here we are. Need I tell you, it's time to make certain, as I advise you quite often, almost every week somewhere, that you need to be active politically. If you have a firearm, you're a firearms owner, I don't care whether you're young or old, you need to be politically active to a certain level, right? Whether you like politics, you hate politics, it doesn't matter. I don't like politics either. But being a gun owner makes you, it puts you in the arena to some extent. You have to make some choices and think about things. And that's what I love about it. When people buy firearms, there's 5 to 8 new gun owners, 5 to 8 million, excuse me, new gun owners out there now this year. And every one of you has to be thinking about that sort of thing and how you have been voting in the past or how you've not been voting, who you've been voting for, whether you've been active politically. You know, you're hopefully looking more at your local lawmakers, national lawmakers, and what they're up to. And, you know, you're maybe awakened. Whoa, wait a minute. I just bought this firearm, whether it's an AR-15 or a revolver or whatever it is. Now this guy I've been voting for wants to take it away from me, wants to put on all these crazy restrictions, and anyway, treat me like a criminal. So hopefully you're thinking through all that, and you are really, really in touch with the people that make a difference. I know sometimes it seems futile and, you know, that hopeless, but it's not. It's not. You know, you saw in Georgia this week how just a handful of people can make a huge difference, right? So people that did not get out and vote, you know, there were consequences. People that did get out and vote, there were consequences, right? One way or the other. So inaction and action both have consequences, don't they? So just keep that in mind. Know who your representatives are. Stay in touch with them by phone, by email. And I mean, that's, you know, what else can you do? As well as whatever you can afford, support the gun rights organizations. And there's so many of them. It's a Firearms Policy Coalition, there's Gunners of America, Second Amendment Foundation, even the NRA, if you still, you know, can hold your nose and support them. I don't know. Most people can't. I've not sent them any money in a long time. Still waiting for them to get things kind of straightened out, hopefully. But then I'm not going to get into all that because people are so opinionated about all the firearms organizations, but the gun rights organizations, some do better than others, of course. Some, it's hard to qualify or quantify, you know, what better means. Some focus in different areas, you know, with the courts or whatever, and some spend their time in the legislation. And so they all serve a role. From what I hear, even the NRA is in there working. You know, most people are rather upset with them to the point where they're not going to support, but a lot of people are not. I hear from both of you, both sides. You know, and of course, we got into that fray, about 3 years ago? I don't know. Because I'd always been a member and a supporter, and still am, life member. And they wanted to sponsor us, and so, you know, I said, yeah, why not? You know, I support all the at that time, I was a life member of virtually every gun rights organization, and wasn't planning on reviewing gun rights organizations. You know, it's funny, on old videos, I still see people, oh, you sell out, they're no, sell out, they're a sponsor. You know, we don't review gun rights organizations, never have. As long as we've been doing this, I have advocated that you join as many as you can. Go back and listen to the old radio shows, whatever you want to do. And I've always advised people to join as many as you can. Support gun rights everywhere you can, everywhere you can afford. You know, so you know, they're just a sponsor, and you know, but yeah, they were not handling things well. So we had to drop them. Yeah, so. It's always obvious when someone's way behind on our videos and our lives and what we're doing. But anyway, I get also subject. Yeah, whatever you can do, you've got to do it. Okay, it could be a rough 4 years in terms of hanging on to to what we've got, in terms of our firearms freedoms. Okay, so stay in touch with the people that matter, and who really matters too, as I've always advocated and talked about, is or are the people, your neighbors. Okay, we're in a battle, but it's more so than with politicians, as I've talked about. It's more so with our neighbors, right? I mean, those other people that are voting our rights away, right? Every politician in Washington or at your county level, your state level, guess how they got there? Your neighbors or people, and I know, not literally the person next door maybe, but the people like you and me voted them in, okay? So a lot of people, like about half, disagree with you and me, apparently, on whatever we think, whether it's firearms or anything else. So it's the battle for the hearts and minds, as they say, of our neighbors, of our fellow citizens, the hearts and minds. That's why I know a lot of people think we make too big a deal out of image and all that kind of thing. Well, by God, it's the Second Amendment, and I've got a right to do that, and whether people show up at a Second Amendment rally flying a Confederate flag or whatever. Well, it's not that people have a problem with some things. A lot of people are really turned off and get mad when there's a Second Amendment rally and they're advised by whoever's organizing it, like not to bring, Confederate flags or wear nothing but camo or whatever. It's really, they're just attempting to keep the media from portraying us like they want to, right? They're just going to focus on the person that looks like who I don't know, like someone just creeped out of the woods, a Neanderthal that really shouldn't be trusted with guns or something, or somebody really ready to overthrow the government tomorrow. So that's what the media is looking for, and that's the reason that people organizing these things and sensible people would rather that we keep our most extreme whatever symbols or clothing or whatever maybe out of the camera's eyes of the local news stations. That's what most of that is. We're not really trying to limit our own freedom, but then again, I can see both sides of that. Hey, by God, I can do what I want. Yeah, free country, sort of. That's the problem, though. We're kind of losing our free country, but because we're in such a battle with our neighbors, half of them, they're the ones who are going to take your freedom and my freedom away to buy this. They're the ones who are going to do it, or to own it, or to decide what capacity magazine I can shoot in it, or have, or own, or what kind of ammo I can own, or how many of these I can own, or what it takes to buy one, or where to carry. I'm allowed to carry it. They're the ones who decide that. Your neighbor who votes. So it is an image thing, in a lot of ways. And I don't like that, but that's really what it comes down to. Because as I answer a lot of people that, over the years, not a lot of people, but, people will come on and I'll see a comment about, my carry permit's the Second Amendment, and I've got it right in my wallet. So I'll carry wherever I want to, et cetera, et cetera. And I say, yeah, I understand that, but, tell that to Bubba as you're sitting in jail. The judge doesn't care. He doesn't, it's not going to influence the judge one bit, He'll send you to the clink, So, and if you're willing to do that for that cause, that's great. That's commendable. But you can say what you want. I can say what I want. I should be allowed to do whatever, but I'm not really, or at least I have to pay the consequences for it, So we're trying to influence the hearts and minds of the citizenry. Keep that in mind. We have to. That's important. It really is. It just is. Being sensible. Everybody you listen to, there are a lot of great YouTube videos, whether it's Masa Yub or anybody, advising us how to talk about certain issues within the gun rights world and how not to incite the other side. Just try to use common sense with them, because they want an argument, they want to fight, they want a fist fight, or they want you to just lose the argument by getting all fired up and saying stupid things and starting to insult them like they do, us. So if we can refrain from that and keep it on a intellectual level as much as possible, maybe we can influence a few people, right? So anyway, not enough on that, but it's, here we are. I'm a little bit disappointed in my fellow man and woman, and in between, and my fellow humans, put it that way. Not just gun rights, but just the economic philosophy, the way they look at the world. I don't know. It's up to you young people to change things, to get the pendulum swinging back. I hope. So can I shoot this again before I yak at you some more? Yeah, I've been carrying this really for over a week. It's my carry gun, 45 Commander. I like pull and shoot, but I also like, this is lightweight and it shoots great. Shoots 45. You can't argue with a 45, and it's kind of neat. It's like coming back home to my old caliber, my 45. Because I've carried a 45 a lot and I've shot a lot of 45. I advise it's not great, smart maybe to go back and forth, pull and shoot like a Glock with no thumb safety or any other kind of pistol, revolver, or whatever, and then go to a thumb safety firearm, back and forth, can get you in trouble. When I pull it, though, my thumb goes up on that safety and bam. And I don't know, I have to be careful of that. I need to go in streaks. Like I need to orient myself to the 1911. That's why I've just been carrying this. And I probably will through the winter, most of the winter. And I think it is smarter to do it in a streak like that because I'm oriented to it. I'm practicing, I'm shooting it, and the thumb safety is just part of, it's just a natural thing to me. I have the advantage. I can go back and forth, maybe better than some who are less experienced, because I shot one of these things so much. And when I touch that, and I know that feel. I know my thumb just naturally goes up on that safety. I competed with one extensively. I shoot them a lot, and I just know the gun. I still, I'm not perfect either. I have to be careful and make sure it's a chance I'm willing to take because I have so much experience with the 1911. But it is kind of cool. Good old 1911. They feel good. They feel so good. I'm just going to shoot it again. How's that? I may have to get a gunsmith to look at it, right? If it's not going to hold the slide back. What should we shoot? See if we'll shoot one-handed. Yeah, cool. Didn't get a good hit on him. Yeah, not holding the slide back. What's up with you, Dan Wesson? So, yeah, but I like it. That's kind of minor in the great scheme of things. With a semi-auto, make sure it works first. But I should be counting my rounds anyway, right? And doing a tactical reload if I think I'm getting close. But they're just nice. This thing has nice checkering on the front, and the back straps. Got the bobtail, grip, which I don't like as much on the Cobra Carry. And that's one reason I was kind of looking for something like this. Of course, the Cobra Carry is a great firearm, the Ed Brown Cobra Carry. It's this configuration right here. But it's got a heavier frame. It's an all-steel frame. Excuse me, it's a little heavier. And it doesn't have a very good grip. That snake-like, cool-looking grip, stippling or whatever it is on the front strap and the back. I don't lock into that at all. This checkering I do, so it feels pretty good. It led me to not like the bobtail grip in as much because of that. I was blaming it mostly on that. It just didn't feel as solid and sturdy. But I got to noticing over the years, really, it's just I don't know, it's almost like some of the polymer grips. You don't really get a good bite. You don't lock into it, And it was really just the particular style of what they call it, stippling or serrations or whatever, to look like a snake. So anyway, pretty cool, pretty neat 45, big old hollow points, HST, you know. They're interesting. It's an interesting caliber. I think it's got a little history behind it too, so it's kind of neat to carry it some. Yeah, I don't get into the caliber wars. You know, there's so many more important things than the caliber you're carrying, the type of gun even. So many more important things. Your mindset, your level of awareness, just your proficiency with firearms, avoiding problems, just a million things. Not to mention where you hit. Okay, so we don't get into the caliber wars. Just because I happen to be carrying a 45, I don't feel like that's not why I'm carrying this necessarily. You know, 9 is fine, 40 is fine. 40 is a great caliber too. 10, we could get down the whole list, right? 22 short, right? Maybe not 22 short. So I don't know what else I was going to talk about. Anything important? Probably not. Hope you saw the videos this week, recently. The VR80, M1 carbine. What else have we done? That funny zombie video down in the hollow. But the VR80 is a wild gun. Somebody said something about Hickok probably thought that gun was trash. That's why he made John do the video. No, that's just random. I asked John if he wanted to do it, but but kind of like John, I really am not all that fond of what do you call it, a box magazine fed shotgun. They just always felt so awkward to me. Well, you get right down to it, an AR is more awkward than feeling in a lot of ways than a nice lever action, you know, smooth, nothing hanging down out of it, no magazines and all that, you know, pistol grip in a way, big pistol, not that it's in the way if you're using it, right, unnecessarily, but on a shotgun, there's just something about it, you know, capacity is not as much an issue, you know, it's a shotgun, it's a howitzer, you know, you got 2 or 3, 4 rounds of 12 gauge, you're good to go, probably, right? You can reload it, you know, after you've blown down the barn or whatever you're shooting at. So, I don't know, I much prefer a 590, a Mossberg, 870 Remington, anything along that line, in a pump or, even a M4, Benelli. It's just so much more ergonomic than that thing, even with a pistol grip. And I'm not even crazy about a pistol grip on a shotgun, but like on the M4 with a pistol grip, to me that's even less awkward by far than something like that. But then again, to each his own. I mean, it's just like a big AR. We all are used to that format, so, or AK. So, but anyway, I didn't talk John into doing it because I hate it. But by the same token, I'm not fond necessarily of those sorts of things. It's one reason I have never owned, or even for a short time period, a Saiga, shotgun. I think we did a video. I've just never been drawn to those at all. Whenever I see those sorts of shotguns in gun shops or pick one up, I don't know, I just set it down. There's no appeal at all, I wouldn't trade, really. I mean, unless it was to sell them or something to make money. I wouldn't trade like one Mossberg 500 for 10 of those as far as my own use. I just don't like them. It's not a fun thing, because I like an AR and an AK, but with a shotgun, I don't know, it's a different universe. It just really is. So anyway, just point that out. The Davy Colts were fun to get out. I think that was the week before last. I just really enjoy getting that old thing out with that stag handle. Somebody made a comment I saw about that, saying that they much preferred the original grips on a Colt. Wood, or the plastic, whatever, and changing those out just made them ugly and all this kind of thing. Yeah, that is interesting because that's one thing that doesn't really hit me the wrong way at all with Colts. Almost any gun, handgun, rifle is usually not an issue, but you can't change out the grip very well. But the grips on a handgun, well, like this one, I might change these. I might change these to some good VZ grips or something to get a better grip, better purchase even, more friction, and it doesn't change the gun. It's not adulterating the firearm. And even with an old Colt single action, even an old one, generally it's like an old coin. You don't want to mess with it. You want to keep it the way it is. Even if it's worn, patina, you don't want to refinish it. It kills the value. It's not as cool anyway, usually. But changing the grips out on even a first generation Colt single action or third or second generation Colt, there's nothing really distasteful about that to most people, even collectors. Now, if you've got the original grips that came on it, like those rubber grips, you don't want to lose them. But if you prefer some nice walnut grips on there, or stag, or bone, elk, horn, or whatever, that's perfectly acceptable by most people. Collectors of Colts and people that really know firearms. It's not like you've done something to the gun that you should have left the original grips on. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think many people at all have that opinion. Grips they're just what they are. In fact, it's one of the things a lot of people do, even with a fine firearm like a Colt single action, and have back through the centuries, is they want to personalize it and get the original grips off of it and put some bone handles on it or grips on it, stag or whatever, and then also stag is just beautiful. I think, boy, on a Colt or a Ruger or whatever, stag grips, and they're just gorgeous and highly, highly desirable by almost everybody. Provided they fit right and they're not too big for your hand, because when you do change grips out, you can end up with something that doesn't feel as good. Different configuration, a little fatter or thinner, that sort of thing. Just like even with the 1911, these are relatively thin grips. If I do replace them, I might prefer something with a little more meat to them, but not much. And some people like them really thin, so you have those options. So it's a kind of personalizing, like maybe changing out the sights. Same thing, changing out the sights is not a huge deal. You haven't ruined the gun, you've improved it. Now, most of those old guns that are really collectible, you can't change out the sights anyway, so it's not as much an issue on an old Colt. Unless you have a grinder and a chisel, it's hard to get those off. But so anyway, but it's always a pleasure to get that thing out, and remind myself of the three, consecutively numbered Colt single actions. Gosh, that's going on. That's like 4 years ago already. Going on 5 years ago that I bought those. I'm so glad I was able to get those for the three of us. If you haven't seen that video, don't know what I'm talking about. It's called Colt Single Action Army, Colt SAA, 3 generations. That's what the video is called. And there's a little bit of a double meaning there, right? Because there are essentially 3 generations of Colt. Some people think a fourth, but 3 generations of Colt. And then one is mine, one is John's, and one is his son, who is, I guess, my grandson, right? His son? Yeah, it would be. Yeah, that'd be it. Are we allowed to use those relationship names now? Is that taboo? Grandfather, grandson, son. So anyway, that was cool to get that thing out and enjoy that. Really, really, really. It's getting chilly again on me. So what else? I'm going to shoot some more, okay? I'm not shooting enough in these. With the ammo shortage, you don't want to overshoot. I used to think that was a joke. You can never overshoot. But with ammo the way it is, maybe you can, right? Maybe you can overshoot, shoot too much. So, I'm a little bit bothered by that mag catch, slide catch, but I can fix that. Boy, it really locks in there. Nice. Oh, a 2-liter, still alive. Cowboy. Oh, that one locked it back, the Nighthawk. Okay. Yeah, I remember that when I was practicing or just shooting it some. The Nighthawk did lock it back. There's another Nighthawk I've got out here. I'll try that one too. I'll just order some Nighthawk mags. I'm going to try that plate over there. I don't know if you can see it down on the left. See if I can knock it off there, because it's just sitting on a post kind of thing. Spun it around a little bit. Boom. Yep, sights are right. Yeah, that one locked it back too. All right, Nighthawk, thanks. I'm going to put a couple of rounds in that one. See if it'll lock it back. I have 3 Nighthawk, all my Nighthawk, yeah, I think that's all of them. I keep all my best magazines together now. There we go. So whoever makes Nighthawk magazines, made in the USA, they do have a little bit different follower configuration. Nice. Okay. So the Wilson mags and the Dan Wesson mags don't really keep it locked back. That's I think it's a Brown L. Yeah, Brown L. All good mags that work well. Don't have an Ed Brown mag out here, I guess. No, that's all I have. So anyway, it's nice. You know, the Commander is just it's a neat size, and you know, most people, again, I've said that myself, I don't carry one very often, but I've had in the back of my mind, and I've spoken of that I wouldn't mind having. I pull out that Cobra carry occasionally over the years, and I'll think, man, I'd kind of like to carry this more, especially in the wintertime. Maybe the shoulder holster, a belt, cross straw. I carry a lot of different ways, and yeah, it's just hard to, when I think about my Glock 19 or 43X or whatever, or even a lightweight revolver, it's just heavier than that, you know, and it begins to pull on your belt, you know, and you carry it for a couple of days and end up, take it off, go back to my Glock or something, you know. But so it's been in the back of my mind that I would like to have that same configuration in an alloy frame. I know it's not as strong. It's strong enough. I don't need to shoot any one single particular 1911, you know, 10,000 times. And, you know, so it's been in the back of my mind, and it's been kind of on my not on my short list, on my long list. And it finally worked its way down to the short list. So it's pretty neat. Can I shoot again? Yeah. 1911s are fun to shoot. Like I say, whether you carry them or not, they're just a lot of fun. And night sights, everything you need, nothing you don't, as they say. That must be the marketing motto for 2 or 3 companies, right? Everything you need and nothing you don't. It's so good, you know, it just says it all. So yeah, it's just a nice 45. Really enjoy having that now. And Dan Wesson, great outfit. You know, they're one of the best 1911 companies for the money. You know, I think that's pretty much agreed upon in the shooting world, that you can't go wrong hardly with a Dan Wesson, because they're not 3,000 and 4,000 like the custom guns are. They're up there in that area, like 1,500 to 2,000, between, you know, the Colts and the Kimbers and most of those, and between those and the custom guns, and there's no MIM parts on them at all. I mean, they advertise that. And so that takes them away from the Colts and Kimbers and other and Springfields and a bunch of them, which are also good guns. But this is just up there in that next level. Just for those who are not familiar with Dan Wesson, research him. It's hard to find haters of Dan Wesson. It really is. But I bet you though, if you really searched on the internet, you could find some haters of Dan Wesson. Well, yeah, really, I'm sure people have had some trouble with them like anything else. And my guess is you could find on the internet somewhere people hating on anything, right? Anything. That's the nature of it. That's the nature of it. We love social media. So anyway, I don't want to keep you all day. I want to, again, young people, we're counting on you all to change the world. We're counting on you. We need your help. Okay? As I understand, talking with John and different people, a lot of you young folks seem to have your heads on straight. A lot of you don't, just like old people. But you seem to be having more of a, this is my own bias, but more of a libertarian outlook on life, okay, on things. And that's encouraging to me. But we're counting on you to change the world, and not let the busybodies determine every law and what happens, because the busybodies of the world, there are just so many people who, oh man, they have too much crazy energy, to change things that don't need changing or do things that don't need to be done, and busy, weaponizing everything, weaponizing organizations, weaponizing racism. Everybody's a racist, or convincing everybody to get into class warfare or whatever it is. They just want drama. They want crisis. They want conflict. Want to divide people who shouldn't be divided, who are not divided. As I've said before, people really get along better than ever. Probably it's you look at it, if you forget, if social media didn't exist, Twitter and none of that, your impression would probably be that, society's going a whole lot better than it used to, even 10 years ago, even 20 or 30, a whole lot better than 40 or 50 years ago. People just getting along better, accepting of people. Oh my gosh, even 20, 30 years ago, just people who were gay or whatever, and then still even the color issues and all that, there was just more hate coming out of, the extreme radical right, and, people are just more accepting of other people who are different, okay? And not even making a big deal out of it, really. It's mainly on social media, and it's mainly from, media, big media, and of course politicians, because they have something to gain by it. Just like your busybody neighbor or whoever, they've got to create drama by dividing. That's just it. If there's no drama out there that you see readily, you got to create it. If you thrive on drama, right? And then of course, if you thrive on clicks and attention, you got to create some kind of drama. You got to create division between people. And if you're a politician, so that division has to be there, and somebody's got to be mistreating somebody else so that you can save that somebody else and get their votes, get their money, create organization, whatever it is. That's just the human nature. It's how it works. So anyway, young people, man, try to fight off the busybodies and don't let them convince you of anything that isn't real, right? Not that there aren't problems in the world, because people are way far from being perfect, right? But boy, it's nothing like what we're made to believe, or what social media leads us to believe. So young people, we're counting on you to think for yourself and keep this live and let live attitude and apply it to everything, not just the things you like, okay, but things other people like. If it doesn't affect you, don't make a big deal out of it, right? Whether it's firearms or anything, Okay, use common sense. Look at the numbers. Look at the statistics. Yeah. If people get all crazy about what an AR-15 or anything, and the statistics do not support that. Yeah, they don't support it. There are fewer deaths with rifles than it's handguns that of course are what the primary tool is for murder. Right? It's a handgun. It's not a rifle of any kind, much less an AR-15. So don't let people pull the wool over your eyes, and just be yourself, and have your own mind. Study, look at the statistics on things. Use your common sense, and because so many people in the world don't. That's why people who have half a brain need to really use it, because there are a lot of people. I don't know how much brain they have, half a brain, a quarter of a brain, or a whole brain, but they're either not using it, or they use it in a way to the detriment of the rest of us, to control us in some weird way that doesn't need to be controlled. So anyway, we're in the process of losing our freedom, because there are so many people that just celebrate totalitarianism. They want to control the world, control the country, control you and control me. So we're counting on you, young people. We really are. I don't mean to be melodramatic, but it's a crazy world out there in a lot of ways, and it'll be fine for me, I think. But I worry about you, my grandson, young Johnny, younger people. You're moving into a strange world if we don't kind of get back on track. So, not to be a pessimist, because I'm really not. The glass is half full for me, and it probably always will be, because I am not going to let other people. That's the thing. I don't let other people determine, how my day goes or how I feel about things. I don't lie awake at night worrying about really anything at all. Don't even think about social media or any of that stupid stuff. If I have a problem that's on my mind, it's I can't get the tire on my four-wheeler or something. It's real stuff, okay? It's not the fake stuff that's in the news. A lot of it's fake, right? Or in social media. It's not drama that others create. I create my own drama. If I want some drama, thank you, but I'll create it. I don't have any more loaded magazines. I'm going to cry. Well, I'm going to kind of load one more, and then I'll let y'all go. Okay, I really am going to let you go. I don't want to take all day. I know you have lots to do. I've got lots to do. Let's use one of these Nighthawk mags again. Yeah, so we know it'll lock the mag back. So I need to be carrying my carry ammo in a Nighthawk magazine, don't I? See, that's the thing. Just staying around shooting. I'm not in a stressful situation. I don't learn how to be tactical or anything, but it's like training. But you do learn, as I was saying earlier, you learn about your firearm. This is like a lesson. One is exactly what I was talking about. You got to get out and shoot your stuff and find out what works and what doesn't work in your firearm. So we found out together today that the Nighthawk mags seem to be the only mags that lock my slide back. All right. So I'm going to come out of the holster, run safe, and we are not hot yet. We are now. All right, what do I want to shoot? Well, who needs to be shot here? About everything, like that does. Locked it back. So I really enjoy my little Guardian. Again, for those who don't know, the Vigil, we just had one around for a while. We haven't posted that video yet. It looks just like this, and it's a nice pistol. It comes in, I think it comes in a commander size too, as well, and even a smaller one, a smaller grip, and the full size, and the tactical one like we had with the high sights. I don't think they call it tactical, but it has the high sights for suppression. but it doesn't have the safety, the bump on the grip safety. And, you know, there's just not a lot of difference. I don't even remember. The Vigil and the Guardian are almost the same firearm. It has different sights. This does not have the tactical sight. You know, it's got like a Novak style, so it'd be hard to work that one-handed on your belt, okay? That's one thing you give up with that. Of course, you can change the sights out. But it's got night sights, Novak night sights on it, and but it's very, very similar. I think it had, yeah, it had front checkering too, I think, didn't it? But both of them are nice. The Guardian, though, has that. And they both had a ramp barrel. You know, that's what really got me looking at them harder. Now, if you don't know what a ramp barrel is, I got it all dirty. But it's the ramp, the bullet goes up on you. You've got to cut out. A lot of 9mm do, but a lot of 45s don't, or historically have not. The maker actually cuts out the frame where the ramp is and where the round jumps up into the chamber. And the ramp is actually on the barrel. And we'll take it out now, but you know, it's like on a Glock. Look at your Glock or anything you got. If you got a polymer pistol, because you know you got polymer, so the ramp is going to be on the barrel, right? And so it's like that. Whereas a GI 45, there's no ramp. You know, the end of the barrel is just the end of the barrel almost, your chamber. But this actually has a ramp that comes down into the frame. So it's steel. That's the main thing. It's the point. So the bullet is bouncing up onto that, okay, instead of the alloy frame. All right, no charge for that little lesson. So good feeling gun. I'm happy to have it. You know, I don't have many guns, and it was nice to add to my collection. Yeah, really, I should be ashamed of myself, but I'm not. You know, you only live once. So I'm going to let you all go. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting, something really important. But that's a joke. What could be important, I have to say. So I just like to invite you all out and enjoy a Sunday with me, or a Saturday whenever I film this. I want to be able to post them on Sunday morning, so I've told you that before. It's funny, every week there's some detective that will say something about that. But yeah, it's Sunday morning shoot around, and it's could be a Saturday though when I'm doing it. You never know. And it's just fun to have you all out and pull out a firearm. In a way, it makes me do that. You know, I'm very, very busy. And if I'm not careful, I just do videos and get ready for the video gun review or something. I might go a few weeks and I might not just get out a gun for just sheer pleasure, although all of them are for pleasure, right? And all of them are pleasurable. But this has, over the past year, it forces me to have pleasure. It forces me to kind of kick back a little bit, and no matter what we have that needs to be done or what I need to be doing or whatever, I know that every weekend I'm just gonna, okay, I have a commitment. I have a Sunday video, and I'm gonna just, what gun would be fun to shoot? And sometimes it's a gun we're reviewing. I just want to shoot a couple times, but often it's something like this or whatever. Colt single action, just in the mood to shoot. So that's fun. It's been good. It's been good. It provides me an excuse to shoot something that I would not have, shot maybe, and would be neglected. This gun, or one of my old favorite guns, whether it's a Krag or Swedish Mauser, would be neglected if it weren't for you all coming to see me on Sunday mornings. So I'm glad you do it, and I just appreciate y'all tuning in, and appreciate you supporting all the fine folks that support us. I don't guess I'll put Talon grips on that. I don't know. I think they make them for 1911, don't they? But it's back when I first got into shooting a lot, there were lots of things you could put on these things. Some of you remember the Packmeyer wraparound grips. They probably still make those. I had those on some of my early 1911s. They were rubber, just rubber grips. They screwed on just like these, but they had a front strap like that, and it was it was rubber, and it was kind of textured. So it's like a poor man's front strap checkering, and things like that. So there's always ways to doctor up your firearm, make it feel better for you. But I'll tell you, checkering like that is, I know it's expensive, it's not easy to do, but boy, when you pull that thing up, it just locks in. And I'm fine. I can take an old GI gun and do fine with it. But when you pick up one of these, not just Dan Wesson, anyone that's got front checkering, and rear checkering, it locks in. You got a nice high beaver tail. It just fits like a glove to most people. So anyway, glad to have that, and it's my carry gun. It's my carry gun this winter. So I hate to tell you, but if you mess with me, you try to kill me, you might get hit with 45. That sounded mean, didn't it? Yeah, it would be mean. Someone tried to kill me, I'd be mean to them if I fought back, wouldn't I? Wouldn't want to do that, would we? Yeah, we would. So anyway, I'll let you go, and I hope you have a good week and get a chance to shoot. Like I always say, if you don't, I guarantee you, if you have any guns, one of them could use a little tender loving care. You just take it apart and meticulously clean it really well. You should do that, I don't know, every now and then with almost all your firearms. Even if you got some crazy M&P Glock or SIG that it seems to function after you've fired 5,000 rounds, even no matter how dirty it gets. It wouldn't hurt to just sit down, watching a movie or whatever, and just really clean it, take it apart, and give it the white glove treatment once in a while. It wouldn't hurt a bit. That firing pin channel, I've shown you all that on Glocks at least. You can get little shavings of brass in there, and get a little oil in there with it accidentally sometime, and you might discover that striker doesn't move or something. You could, at the wrong time, you might discover it at the wrong time, okay? So it doesn't hurt to just do a meticulous cleaning, thorough cleaning once in a while, okay? And guess what? You're not burning any ammo when you do that. Ammo that you don't have or can't find, so you can still enjoy that firearm. And you can also know that it's really ready to go. I'm I guess a little anal about all my guns because I clean them whenever I shoot them. AR-15, AK, I don't care. I just like them clean. For one thing, I don't want to have to keep up with it. I do have a few firearms, and if I get an AK out this week and shoot it, I don't know, shoot it a couple hundred times, probably won't, but put it away, and I don't know, 6 months from now, I don't know, did I shoot that? How many times did I shoot it? How dirty is it, I wonder? What if I have to go to war tomorrow and I grab that AK, and that's a firearm I want to grab? Is it going to run okay for me? Is it too dirty? Should I have cleaned it? Do I need to clean it? How dirty did I just like to keep them always clean. I know. Now, if a moment's notice, I get, the Black Hawk helicopters land over here in my field, and they just want me to go with them somewhere. I can grab, whatever AR I want, whatever AK, my helmet, and just jump in the copter, I can go with them. What the heck? Life is short. I want to be ready, Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go. The cold air is getting to me, so I really do appreciate it. John and I just again, we appreciate y'all so much, the support, and through the years and ongoing, and again, compliment you all on not having to be so pizzazz with crazy thumbnails all the time, and dancing girls and slick videos. We're just a little bit boring, but we figure some of you are too, probably. So we're just getting even with you. We're fighting back. No, we appreciate your support, and through the years, today, and in the future, and appreciate you supporting those folks that support us. So I'm gonna let you go, and I will see you next week, whether you want to or not. Well, if you don't want to, I guess you just don't tune in, right? You got an easy way out on that. Yeah, that's right. You just don't come to the woods. You won't see me. You won't hear all the brilliance. So y'all have a good week, and I will talk to you later. life is good.